Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. Chat with our guy, Preston Guy of TigerBait.com. Preston, got any Twitter fights this week or not?
Quite a few. I think I'm the month of November. My Twitter's had 11 million impressions. So I don't think I have any bridges in Oregon. So if I ever want to, cover the Oregon beat, I'm screwed.
What are they saying? What do they think?
They don't like me. They've progressed from a lot of very empty arguments against Jaden Daniels. He's padding stats. He did it against weak competition. It was no defenses he played, and I've debunked those. All I'm doing is seeing what they're saying and just saying, this is false, here's the facts. And they don't like that. So they went from that to insulting me to, everything under the sky. So, hey, until that ceremony goes, I'm going to continue with it, until we see who wins, because I think Jaden Daniels deserves it. I think it's the right thing to do to lobby for him based on what we've seen in the facts available. And, I think as a beat writer, it is, a responsibility I have, if it's the right thing, to use my platform to do that.
What do you think Bo Nix needs tonight to win over the voters? Not you, but the voters.
Yeah, so he's not going to win it over for me unless something earth-shattering, record-breaking happens, right? But that being said, I would say 350 and a win with no turnovers, 350 yards, and looking impressive while doing it. That might do the trick to actually win the thing. We'll see, though. I'll tell you what, LSU fans better be wearing their purple and gold of a different tint tonight, because if Washington pulls this off, which they've already beat Oregon once, but they're not the favorites. But if Washington pulls this off, that's TKO. This is Jaden Daniels' award.
Back in 2009, when I went up to Seattle, a bunch of the Husky fans told me that I probably couldn't read. I heard that multiple times, so I've forgiven them over the last 14 years. So I'll be pulling for them tonight. Do you give Washington any chance tonight?
Oh yeah, no, they definitely have a chance. I mean, I think what, -6.5, something like that, right?
I thought it was pushing 10, wasn't it?
What?
I'll pull it up now, but I thought it was pushing 10.
Yeah. No, they definitely. I mean, they already beat this Oregon Duck team, and I don't think there's been any drastic changes other than the fact that Oregon's playing well right now. Oregon looks like a juggernaut, So definitely have a chance. I'm not writing them off for sure, but yeah, I mean, will it happen? We'll just have to see. We'll have to see.
9.5 is the number right now that I see. Oregon is favored out in Las Vegas. Let's go back to the A&M game for LSU. What was your biggest takeaway from that Saturday morning in Death Valley?
Yeah, biggest takeaway is A&M did everything, and I mean everything, to slow down LSU's offense. They have a top-notch defense, ranking top 10 in the country, and they were playing on the offensive side of the ball in an effort to hog clock. I mean, I remember seeing, Le'Veon Moss got, a drag route he got hit on, and instead of fighting for 4 or 5 extra yards by going down the sideline, he stays in bounds. These guys were trying to eat clock, and they did it successfully. So despite all of that, a top 10 defense and all that's going on, LSU's defense could not get off the field. I believe they converted 13 or 14 third and fourth downs, right? Jaden Daniels still hung 355, 4 touchdowns, and I'm talking very impressive. Those fourth quarter touchdowns, those were all just dimes, every single one of them. So LSU gets the job, still hangs 42 on them, still gets the double-digit victory. I thought it was an impressive day for everybody but the defense.
Do you think the bowl game is important? And I realize important is a subjective term.
A level of importance, for sure. It's whether I'm sure the person you really want to be asking this to is all your offensive superstars. You really want to ask Jaden Daniels this question, but it's you've got a chance to have 10 wins in back-to-back seasons. Hadn't been done in a while. That'd be a really good mark for Brian Kelly, who inherited a team that went sub 500 in the previous 2 seasons. So it'd be a big deal. I don't see them sneaking into a New Year's Six bowl. That'd be nice if they could. Then it would be a pretty big deal, because that's a nice banner you can hang. But Lia Quest Bowl or something like that. It is what it is. Go play a football game, go win. If it's Notre Dame you get matched up with, there's some off-the-field grudge match type stuff, which would really stink if your best player doesn't play in that game, and so much is on the line other than the game itself. But is this like a program changing? Is any recruit going to come or not come? I don't think Keelan Moses is flipping his commitment because LSU loses some, January bowl game in Florida.
Chatting with Preston Guy, senior editor at TigerBait.com, covers the Tigers over there and does an awesome job. Joins us every Friday here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Obviously, the defense needs to have some major improvement from now until Labor Day. What is on your checklist there?
Hopefully they hit the portal and get some guys in. I don't think they just need to be taking sheer volume of players because, frankly, you do have a young core of players where you didn't when Brian Kelly got this team. But hopefully they get some guys who can come in and be immediate impacts. What I'm really looking for is retention here, which, it's a bit of a, hey, look, you're bringing 9 out of 11 starters back. But the problem is you're bringing those 9 out of those 11 starters back. But you really do want to be able to develop and improve players and then add on to them, add a guy to make them compete for it, You don't want to have to replace your entire defense every year. That's just chaos. It's not a system for success. They have a lot of good quality players coming in the freshman class already. Obviously, you got to keep those guys on board. I especially like the DBs they're bringing in. But, Hunt, they need defensive linemen, and they need them bad. I love that they signed Sean Washington, but, I'm really hoping that there's some big-name defensive lineman guys who come open and they can bring them on board.
That would be very, very nice for sure. So where do you feel like this program is right now after completing 2 regular seasons under Brian Kelly?
Well, if you had told the fans that Brian Kelly's going to inherit this team with 39 scholarship players for the bowl game and a team that went sub 500 the last 2 years, and he'll take it and he'll go 20-7. You have an SEC West championship. You beat Bama during that time, and you have a Heisman winner. Wouldn't you take that? I don't think there's very many fans who wouldn't take that, given what he was handed off. Now, the problem with the program is you got to reload in a major way this season, and the side you're reloading was elite, top in the country. You're going to replace the best quarterback in the country and 2 of the best receivers in the country. You got a lot of work to do on that side of the ball. Good news is you got a good offensive line coming back, keep them intact, a lot of good running backs coming back, and you've got Nussmeier there, and you might hit a portal to push Nussmeier. So there will be some pieces there, and you're deep at receivers. So offense should be pretty good next year, but if this defense is anything like it is, pretty good ain't going to cut it. If this defense shows up next year and your offense is, say, 5th in the SEC, this is a 4-8, 5-7 football team. So they've got some major things to address on the defensive side of the ball to turn things around for next year. But I'll tell you what, as far as long-term future, all y'all have to do is go listen to that interview from Keelan Moses last night. This is going to be a special 2025 recruiting class. Lots of big name guys coming on board. I'd say long-term future, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Next year, they got their work cut out for them.
You did it in this interview. I've done it plenty of times over the last 4 or 5 months, talked about the 38 scholarships and what Brian Kelly inherited. Is year 3 a fair time to put that all to bed and say it's time to roll?
Oh, it is. The expectation should still be there. There's no excuse for Brian Kelly after 3 years. You need to be in the conversation for the championship. By the end of the year, by the time whoever replaces Texas A&M on your schedule at the end of the year next year is coming to town, there needs to be at least conversations about your team being in the championship, right? If not, you fell short of expectations. And while that can be excusable, you got to, put things in line and get toward that direction. That's the expectations of this program. That's how this state recruiting and the resources available to you align you to be. So no excuses, but I am telling you to meet those expectations. Brian Kelly's got his work cut out for him right now. He's got a lot of work to do. I'm not saying he can't do it, but there's work to be done this offseason to get there.
Put on your Huskies gear and crack your knuckles in case you have to get on Twitter this evening, but enjoy the football this weekend.
Oh, I sure will. I imagine I might have some people with some Bo Nix Heisman Photoshop pictures coming after me. So
it's a beautiful place, the old internet. Thanks, Preston.
All right, later, Hunt.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.